Hi everyone. I'm very honored to be here amongst all of you. When we discuss climate change, the immediate images that come to mind are vivid: soaring temperatures, melting glaciers, and raging forest fires. But what we don't hear often enough are the voices of people who are already impacted by climate change. Climate Action Network South Asia predicted that by 2050, about 45 million people in India will be displaced because of climate change. That's close to the population of Spain. A European nation's worth of people may become climate refugees. So, how do we empower vulnerable communities to confront the effects of the climate crisis today? Dasra, an Indian NGO, introduced me to communities from the coastal state of Odisha, where people are impacted by the dual challenges of drought and flooding, to Kerala, where they face the effects of coastal flooding. These interactions allowed me to understand the nuanced ways in which climate change impacts communities in my country. Yet, it was a connection closer to my own home in Mumbai that profoundly impacted me. Not too far from home, in the district of Beed in Maharashtra, I was introduced to a grassroots NGO called Navchetna Sarvangin Vikas Kendra and its founder, Manisha Ghole. Climate change has influenced rain patterns and exacerbated drought in the Beed region. This has resulted in water scarcity and has disrupted the production of sugarcane, the community's primary source of livelihood, forcing them to migrate. Navchetna, the NGO, connected me with a marginalized community of sugarcane cutters and their families. Through a host of characters, I learned the story of the people of Beed. During periods of drought, Vaishali Tai, a sugarcane cutter, is forced to migrate with her family, since her lack of education does not leave her with alternate job options. Her family endures enormous hardships, living in tarpaulin tents, vulnerable to abuse, shunned by locals, and no access to basic health, hygiene, and education facilities. The male sugarcane cutters receive the salary for their family's work, but are often exploited by their agents in other states and don't end up receiving their full pay. They constantly grapple with stress and sometimes turn to alcohol and perpetuate domestic violence. Alkatai's family struggles with kidney surgeries due to chronic dehydration from severe water scarcity. Tanker water reaches them last, as those in higher castes have priority. Thus, they are forced to consume sediment water. Today, Beed is known as the kidney stone capital. Yet, the biggest source for concern is their children. With no schooling, they accompany their parents to fields, exposed to dangers like tractor accidents and snake bites. In this dire context, they are the most vulnerable, and at times, in fact, most times, forced into child labor. The girl child faces the additional threat of early marriage for financial gain or perceived safety. These conversations mark the beginning of the Climate Resilience Project, which I founded last year. The aim of the project is to empower vulnerable communities by enhancing their methods of resilience and raising awareness about their experiences. I have started with the community in Beed. My first milestone was to raise awareness by writing and publishing a paper. Yet, that certainly wasn't enough. My mind went into overdrive. How could we create additional income streams? Could new vocations be introduced? How could I raise awareness about social issues like child marriage or ensure the water purification? The possibilities seemed endless, but I needed to narrow my focus. Reflecting on my own access to quality education, I realized the stark contrast faced by children just like me in Beed. Determined to bridge this gap, I partnered with Navchetna. Together, we embarked on a mission to fundraise for a first-of-its-kind residential school in Beed, the Navchetna Gurukul, a safe space for displaced children to escape the generational cycle of climate-induced migration. I reached out to individuals, companies for their CSR funds, and even started a Milap fundraiser, which is an online fundraising platform. Within 2 months, we raised rupees 26 lakhs or 31,000 US dollars to build this residential school, and I'm determined to see this project through. In its inaugural year, we aim to support 100 children across grades 1 to 6. But that's just the beginning. Our vision extends beyond that. A yearly increase in student enrollment, adding 100 children annually at the Navchetna Gurukul. Today, as we speak, this boarding school in Bede is becoming a reality. Recognizing the need for sustainable impact, I also created a resource network for Navchetna. This involved connecting them with established NGOs like Swadesh and Yuva Parivartan, who are experts in rural development. They will help Navchetna with resource building, vocational training, and knowledge sharing. A few months ago, I would never have imagined that my climate resilience project could result in enhancing the resilience of this community in Bede that has been so terribly impacted by climate change. This experience has made me realize that the power of one individual's conviction can make a huge difference. It has given me the courage to be the voice for Vaishali, Alekha, and countless others, and continue to galvanize support, like I'm doing here today. Thank you.